Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Last Gaymer, The Last of Us Edition. Part 2, Part 1, all the parts in between. Today, we are taking a look at The Last of Us Part 2, WLF Edition, but because I felt special with sparkly nails, we are doing all my copies of the game because when I recorded this video initially, it was right when I got the WLF Edition in the mail, and I was so excited because I officially was able to get my hands on this. Holy crap, you guys and girls and everyone in between. Getting this, like, I was waiting with bated breath because I knew it was going to sell out pretty much instantly. So I was like scouring the internet for like when it was going to drop, and I did not want to have to deal with scalpers because I saw how the Firefly edition of this game went. And if you saw the previous video, or if you haven't, go check out my unboxing of the Steam edition of The Last of Us Part 1. But I knew how insane getting this game on PS5 was going to be. So I found this article and clicked the link and somehow got to Sony's website like maybe a minute or two before it was supposed to drop. Like, it was supposed to drop like on the hour, and they had the listing live. And I mean, I was like a bat out of hell checking out with this game and didn't look back. And I kid you not, it probably sold out like an hour afterwards. But we're gonna go through all my little variants of this game really quick. This was my initial copy of this game. I bought this back a long time ago from like Game Exchange, like a couple years ago, when I'm still in the process of rebuilding an old library that unfortunately was stolen from me. And so I'm working on rebuilding the old library while also adding a ton of new titles. So, you know, there's a real like Phoenix metaphor in there, if you will. But this copy actually ended up coming with a code, which was pretty cool. It's really neat finding used copies of games and people actually kept the codes inside those games. And some of the codes actually still work. So if that code still works, let me know. But this is the inside of the PS3 version of this game. And like I stated in the previous video, interesting fun fact, I have not actually played any of the games in their entirety yet. I got probably 15-ish or so minutes into part 1 on the PS3 and just stopped. I didn't make it any further than that. So my goal for 2025 is to play through The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. And the cool thing is that I now have the updated, enhanced, remastered copies of both for current consoles, mainly for PS5. That's where I do a lot of my heavy gaming. But I'm very excited to play these. This copy of the game actually came with a reverse cover. So as of right now, pretty much every copy of the game has got a reverse cover art. Unfortunately, this is becoming a very lost art. No pun intended. But I absolutely love when companies do this. I'm like, you have a whole back half, and I don't think it's going to cost you that much more to print on the other side of the paper. And it's a small little attention to detail thing that goes a long way, especially since we don't have manuals anymore. So I at least appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below if you appreciate a double-sided or reverse cover art for a game. I think it adds a nice touch to it. And Naughty Dog does it with a lot of their IPs. As somebody who just platinumed every single Uncharted game, it's definitely much appreciated. So hint, hint at a future video for can you 100% the series or not? Anywhoosies. PS3 variant, PS5 variant. The only variant of this game I do not own is the PS4 copy. And that may be a future investment, but as of right now, it's not really high on my list since I do most of my gaming on my PS5. But yeah, so that's a cool little fun thing for both of these variants. But we're gonna go ahead now and take a look at the discs. Yeah, thought we were getting into the good stuff, but not there just yet. Here is the PS3 and PS5 discs for the game, just so you all can see the differences if you're watching this with a fresh pair of eyes and have not seen it. I also love that they did different pictures and love that transition. Absolutely proud of that. I don't know what it is about some of these video transitions I do, but I get really excited when I think the transition looks real good. So let me know in the comments below if you appreciate a good video transition. But here is the front and back of the WLF edition of this game. Also, if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I upload fresh content every week or as often as I can. And it's all unboxing content of fun, nerdy things that I find enjoyable, that I think some other people also might find enjoyable, and the journeys it took to get them, because sometimes I get some good deals, sometimes I get them by the skin of my teeth, and other times it's just interesting and my wallet is very upset at me, but I digress. So yeah. So I was going to peel the sticker off, and then I got very upset because it was going to damage the thing. So I was like, nope, we're leaving the sticker on. And I used my box cutter to open it so it would do as minimal damage as possible. This edition of this game, as far as I'm aware, was the only other variant copy of this. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But it came with some cards that you find in the game, and a Steelbook copy for The Last of Us Part 2. And I believe that is it. But Sony did take notes from The Last of Us Part 1 because they got a lot of negative feedback about people getting Last of Us Part 1 damaged, which, as somebody who ordered the Steam copy directly from them, it did come slightly damaged. But originally, some people were getting them in those like paper mailers with like the bubble wrap on the inside, and people were not happy about that, to say the least. All right, so not only do we get the Steelbook and the trading cards, but I forgot, you also get a patch, and you also get some pins and one of those giant packets of chemicals for whatever reason. I don't understand why they put those in here. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments below, because I'm like, what's the point of the chemicals? Like, there's no food in here. Maybe it's to keep the plastic and stuff okay because it's sealed? I don't know. I digress. But the actual attention to detail for this one, I feel like it was packaged a little bit better. Also, interesting fun fact, the disc is on the inside of The Last of Us Part 2 Steelbook. So there's no like regular plastic type like game case. It's just the Steelbook, which was just mind-boggling for me. I was like, oh, cool. So the shelf is going to look real interesting at some point. I'm probably going to have to buy another copy just for the shelf, so my OCD doesn't get the better of me, because I have like a collector's edition side where all like the collector's editions things goes, and then I have like a PS4, PS5 like regular copies, and they're all nice and pretty and alphabetized. So any whoosies, you'll all see that if you keep an eye on the Nerd Vault, which is where all of the fun little shorts of the ever-evolving landscape of my collection is. But yeah, here is the front and back of the Steelbook, and we're going to take a look on the inside. There is the disc copy of the game, which again, I was like, oh, this makes sense. And I'm sure they saved some money on not doing multiple cases. And on the inside, it just looks rough and hard and stone. I'm so excited to play these games. My husband has been very upset with me because he's like, you own them. You've watched season 1 of The Last of Us, but you've not played it all the way through yet. He goes, I don't know if you're a true gamer. And the funny thing is, I give him so much junk because he plays games like very sparingly. And if it's a really good game, then he'll really get into it. But that's okay. He's a different kind of gamer. Everybody can be a gamer if they want to, which is the whole point of this channel. You can be a big gamer, a small gamer, and everything in between. And it's never too late to get into the fun little hobbies we find. So, it's a fun time. But yeah, so these trading cards though, so freaking cool. And I know that you find them in the game. It's a whole thing. Naughty Dog, dear Lord. That's probably the other reason I've not fully played through this yet. But as somebody who fully platinum ran the entire Uncharted series, I mean, every single one, including the PSP version, of Uncharted and the Golden Abyss, wow, the collector in me and the completionist was very satisfied, and I respect you all on a deeper level because of that journey. But good Lord, if these two games are anything like any of the Uncharted games, it's going to be an ordeal for me. Like, basically, my first playthrough is like, get all the treasures, do it on the hardest mode available, and then go back and basically do every other little trophy there is. So it's a whole thing. But I thoroughly enjoyed them. If you've not played the Uncharted series, highly recommend it. Go do it. But for now, we're going to take a look at these cards really quick, and we're going to go through all of them, front and back. Take your time. I'm going to leave timestamps in the time below from before and after, not for the individual cards, because Lord, that would be a lot, but from the first card to the last card. And then we will see you on the other side. All right, well, that was a marathon. Tons of cards. Amazing. We're going to take a look at these enamel pins really quick. Yeah, so much foreshadowing right here. I did want, my husband actually ended up skipping one. Like, he got through some of one, but it hadn't been like updated to match the playstyle of 2 when he was playing it. And so he just skipped ahead to 2, had the time of his life in 2, and then hasn't gone back and played the updated version of 1 since, but he's probably going to revisit it at some point. And this is me actually putting the game into my PS5 for the first time. And again, this was shot way before I got my capture card. So smart me at the time was like, just set up the camera in front of the TV and it's basically like the same thing. So, you know, that's what we do when we don't buy capture cards. So if you need a capture card, I will leave a link to the one that I got from Amazon, and it's like $14, and it was the best $14 I've ever spent on a capture card. So this was the first message that I was greeted with, which was really cool, because there's, you know, pretty much no game now almost doesn't come with a day 1 patch. And then on top of that, this one had even more bonus content. So lots to download right off the bat, but once it's done, totally worth it. Well, the joke was on me because immediately when I went to go look for the footage for the following clips of me installing the game in DLC, I could not find them. So I'm not 100% sure what happened to the footage, but it's gone, unfortunately. But in the meantime, this is what's left. So that is going to be it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you're new, consider subscribing. We are on our way to 185 subscribers. I would love it if you all joined the family along for the ride. And if you have any questions about anything we covered in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to like the video if you enjoy it, dislike if not. And for now, I'm your host, Late Gamer. I'm gonna go kill some more zombies. I will catch you all in the next one. Pew pew! Peace.